very fragmented and not a well used. That would be the U.S. The one of the things you may want to take a look at is the Singapore model, because they do a superb job. And that would be a prime example of a centralized organization. The Germans, the Germans are pretty good on it too, but they tend more to be a centralized. They tend to be regional, but with a high degree of cooperation on that one.
Yeah, it's federal system. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Canada is a good one, I guess, no?
Canada is worth looking at because it's an enormous area, and they have resources which have
sorry,
but they also have a national.
I think it's cutting. Okay, so I can hear you again. No, that's fine.
Oh, I was walking too far away from the phone.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I've got AirPods on, so I keep wandering away.
Okay. Fair enough. No. So we were saying Canada, it's an enormous area, but I didn't get whether you were saying it's a good one or not.
It is. It's a good way to look at as a hybrid model, because you've got the RCMP, which is covering the whole country, and they have air assets, and then you have the individual, call them states or regions, that have dedicated air assets that belong to them. So that's one thing to look at as a hybrid, and it seems to work pretty well for them.
Okay. Well, okay, so you know what? So I think let's make it easier for both of us. If you had to benchmark some countries on air support units, what rationale would you use for selecting the countries? Is it fleet size? Is it budgetary constraints, or like how well they're managing their budget, or something like that? Like, what would you use as a rationale?
The first thing I would look at is what their stated mission requirements are. You know, what do they want an air wing to do? Because everyone might have a different thing, so you can't benchmark it unless you know exactly what they're trying to achieve on that one. So the next thing I would look at would be their resource availability, and that ties directly into budget. You know, did they want 100 aircraft and they can only afford 10? Yeah. And the impact that has on their mission.
Okay, plus impact that has on the mission. Okay. So state the mission requirements, what do they want the air wings to do, blah, blah, blah. And also the resource availability, which ties directly to the budget. And we look at the impact on their mission. Is there anything else?
Yes. Then long term, I want to look at their performance. Are they, with the resources they have available, and based on their mission requirements, do they feel that they're actually achieving what they want to do? And that would be in published documents.
And okay, so yeah, the problem is I could not find many published documents by like police forces. I found one for the NPAS, but then for the US, I found one that dates back from 2007. Like, there's not much available out there. Is there any resources or that you're aware of?
Well, in the UK, each police force has to provide an annual report. Now, it may be that report is 50 pages long, and the reference to the air operations could be one paragraph.
Okay.
So that's where you're...
I mean, yeah, I see what you mean. But, okay, for other countries, it was hard to find, though, like for Australia, for Brazil, because now if we try and benchmark these countries and we have a rationale to choose these countries, we have to kind of explain why we chose those countries, and if we can't explain it because there's no documents available, then we have a problem. That's the only thing. Yeah. But it's fine. Like, well, I think I have a good basis for the rationale. Thank you very much. That was great. now maybe the last few points. So our client basically wants to set up such a capability. They want to build it from scratch, like air support unit. I just want to have the key considerations to take into account and the key challenges, if you don't mind, when setting up such a capability.
Well, what I can do is we could compare it to what I've done a couple projects in the past, setting up quite a few in the Middle East, but 32 countries around the world, is setting up intelligence operation units for them. And the processes we do with that is we basically run a 3-day workshop, and we determine what the mission requirements are. We look at their resources. We look at their goals. We set it all up. And with that, we develop basically a mission statement and then set up the project management outline on, what do we want to do? What do we want to accomplish? When do we want to do it? Get that all set up. Once you have that in place, then you can look at things like saying, okay, well, I want 12 aircraft, but I can afford 3. So what combination of airframes do I want to accomplish my mission on that one? And then from there, then you go into procurement and construction and implementation.
Okay. From there, you go to and implementation. Okay, but so any considerations in the sense, so the important things are to determine the mission requirements and the resources available, right? And then we can set up a mission statement explaining what we want to do, why, where, when. And then once you have that, you can determine the combinations of airframes you want and accomplish the mission statement. And then move on to procurement and implementation. Now, what we mean, I think what my manager means by this question, like consideration in building such a capability, I think they mean, is there anything they should know apart from these points you mentioned that they should pay particular attention to?
I'm trying to think on that one. The problem I've found is that frequently the clients have an idea of what they want, but don't really know what they want. So, and that's where you come back to that workshop as far as determining their mission requirements. You've heard the term RFI, request for information?
Sorry, go ahead.
Have you heard the term RFI, request for information?
No, first time I hear it, but yeah, I guess I know what it means.
Yeah, and basically an RFI is sent out to the client requesting exactly the things we're saying. What are their goals? What are the mission requirements? What are their resources?
Sorry.
That's how
I get what it is. Yep.
Once you have that, then you can step back and actually determine, what the next step is going to be. Do you run the workshop then for them to actually determine it? At what stage do you want to bring in a program manager?
Yeah, no, I get it. But what is the consideration for the actual client? So, let's separate my entity, my company, from the client. Yep. Let's say we have already given them a plan of what to do, but let's think of a public sector entity that wants to build up such capability. What's their challenges? What things should they look at in order to build it successfully?
What they want to do is look at their tasking. What's their job? What are they required to do? And normally they will have that laid out. If it's law enforcement, it's reduced crime, traffic management, drug control, all of these things. At that point, the clients look at it and say, what do I think an air operations, which of these tasks could air operations assist me with? From that one.